You're watching Mint Wide Angle and I'm Anindya Chakravarti. To be absolutely honest, till late last December, I hadn't even heard of Shaheen Bagh. And I've lived in Delhi all my life. And to also be absolutely honest, even now I only have a vague idea of where Shaheen Bagh is. But I know a lot about the Shaheen Bagh protests by now. In fact, the world knows about it. There's even a Wikipedia entry for it. We know that there are women there, some of them very old, who have been sitting there in the bitter cold for more than 2 months. We know that volunteers give them food and water. We know visitors will be fed biryani if you go there. We know that a 4-month-old baby who was taken to the protests by his mother every day died of cold. We've heard of long traffic jams, which has doubled the commute time for people moving through that area. And we also know that Shaheen Bagh has now become an inspiration for people across India who've been protesting against CAA and NRC. For those who support CAA, on the other hand, Shaheen Bagh is a symbol of anti-national seditious behavior. It evokes such strong polarized reactions on both sides of the divide that the BJP tried to make it the focal point of the recent Delhi Assembly elections. And precisely for that reason, Arvind Kejriwal pretended that Shaheen Bagh just doesn't exist. And now the Supreme Court has intervened. The judges said, protest as much as you like, it is your right, but don't block roads. The court was told by the activist Chandrasekhar Azad that police blockades on the 2 other roads are the real problem. These could have been used by people to bypass the protest site. So, the Supreme Court has asked the Delhi Police Commissioner to come up with a solution to this traffic problem. The protesters in Shaheen Bagh have been asked to speak to mediators and find a new protest site that doesn't inconvenience the Aam Janta of Delhi. But Shaheen Bagh is not just about a roadblock or a traffic jam. It is about real fears amongst India's Muslims that CAA and NRC are laws that will be used to disenfranchise them or declare them to be non-citizens. Mind you, I'm not saying that the fears are well-founded. All I'm saying is that these are real fears, just as one is afraid of dark, deserted alleyways, right? Even if it is totally safe, the fear is real. There's a reason why the women of Shaheen Bagh feel that CAA and then NRC might uproot them from their own homes. That's because of the stories coming out of Assam where NRC has already been implemented. We are hearing of people who have numerous documents but are still not being able to prove whether they really are Indians. We know of Honorary Flight Lieutenant Shabindra Sharma, a retired Air Force officer who was declared a non-citizen in the final NRC of Assam. He provided the same documents that the rest of his family did. The NRC Babus told him that he hadn't been able to prove that he's actually related to his 97-year-old father. But strangely, the same NRC accepted his children's link to their grandfather. And just the other day, a woman in Assam was declared a foreigner even though she provided land revenue receipts, her PAN card and other documents. She was simply not able to provide documents to prove that she was her father's daughter. Even a certificate issued by a village chief didn't work, it wasn't accepted. And millions of people, old people, don't even remember their date of birth. Millions only have a ration card or Aadhaar as proof of identity. When a relatively small exercise like NRC in just one state can throw out a retired Air Force officer with all documents from the list of Indian citizens, then you can imagine what can happen to people who have no documents to prove who they are. Many commentators and many BJP politicians have said that the protesters are being misled. People will just have to show commonly used documents to prove they are Indian citizens. The question to be asked is that if these documents already prove that you're a citizen, then what is the need for yet another document? What is the need for a National Register for Citizens, NRC? Interestingly, Home Minister Amit Shah in a TV interview has already said that other documents, commonly used documents, including voter ID card and Aadhaar card, do not prove that you're a citizen. In another news report at the end of December, an unnamed top government official was quoted as saying that even a passport does not prove that you're a citizen. At best, it proves that you're a resident of India. So to put it mildly, there's still a lot of confusion over what documents will be allowed. When the NRC official comes to our doorstep, yours and mine, when we have to prove that we are indeed Indian citizens, all of us should be worried about this, right? So why are Muslims especially nervous about it? That's because NRC becomes more worrisome when it is seen along with Citizenship Amendment Act. What does that act say? It says that if non-Muslims from Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh facing persecution seek refuge in India, the citizenship applications will get fast-tracked. Now this is problematic in itself because minority sects within Muslim majorities can also be victims of religious persecution. Also, Muslim minorities in neighboring countries like Myanmar and China might also want to seek refuge in India because they face religious persecution in their countries. Why are these minorities from these countries excluded? Why are the Tamil Hindus of Sri Lanka excluded? But these are another set of questions that require another show. The bigger problem is when CAA is seen along with NRC. If a nationwide NRC rejects someone who is a Hindu or a Sikh or Jain or even Christian or Parsi because they failed to provide the necessary documents, they can still seek citizenship at a later date by claiming to be persecuted minorities from Pakistan, Bangladesh or Afghanistan, right? Because CAA will allow them to do that. But what will happen to Muslims? If they are declared to be foreigners because of NRC, they will have no way to get their citizenship back. This is why these women of Shaheen Bagh are sitting out there. This is not a protest about their right to their own identity. This is not a protest against lynchings. This is not a protest demanding more representation for Muslims in jobs and in politics. This is a protest about their very existence as Indians. It is a protest of desperation, if you look at it. And as long as these women are treated as anti-national, anti-Indian, their protest will continue. Today it will be in Shaheen Bagh, tomorrow it will disappear and reappear somewhere else. The onus is on the government to ensure these Muslim women regain their faith that India's democracy won't fail them.